Hello friends, myself is Dr. Akash Pawar and you are watching my YouTube channel Study Made Easy. Through this channel, I am going to share videos regarding subject pharmacology so that you can understand the subject and topic and can get good marks in your examination, and I will try at my best to share my knowledge with you, practical knowledge with you, which will be helpful in your day-to-day practice also. So my dear friends, today's topic of subject pharmacology is autonomic nervous system. Many of the students are having quite difficulties regarding understanding autonomic nervous system, as it is quite difficult to understand and also it is very important for exam point of view. So my dear friends, let's start the session. Our nervous system is divided into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, where brain and spinal cord are the parts of the central nervous system. Again, peripheral nervous system is divided into somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Further, this autonomic nervous system is again divided into parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system. So my dear friends, before going into detail about autonomic nervous system, I would like to tell what are the differentiation factors which are present in somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Organs supplied by somatic nervous system are skeletal muscles, while all the other organs are supplied by the autonomic nervous system. The distalmost synapse is present within CNS in somatic nervous system, while distalmost synapse is present outside the CNS in autonomic nervous system. The nerve fibers of somatic nervous system are totally myelinated, while the only preganglionic fibers of autonomic nervous system are myelinated, while the postganglionic fibers are demyelinated. The peripheral plexus is absent in somatic nervous system, while in autonomic nervous system it is present. The major neurotransmitter of somatic nervous system is acetylcholine, while in autonomic nervous system it is acetylcholine as well as noradrenaline. Friends, somatic nerves are in relation with the voluntary control of our muscles, while autonomic nervous system is in relation with involuntary control of our smooth muscles and other body organs. Dear friends, here which are the skeletal muscles and which are the smooth muscles? Skeletal muscles are those muscles which originate from the bones and having insertion on the bones, while smooth muscles are those muscles which support or are the parts of our internal body organs. Skeletal muscles are having voluntary movement which is controlled by the somatic nerve fibers, somatic nerve system. That means we can control movement of our eyelid, but we cannot control the movement of our pupil. Now we will start our main chapter, main topic, that is autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is divided into parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Now, the origins of parasympathetic nervous system is from craniosacral nerves. These are the craniosacral nerves. That means cranial nerve number 3, 5, 9 and 10 are part of parasympathetic nervous system, and the sacrals are S2, S3 and S4 are the origins, outflows of the parasympathetic nervous system. Like that, sympathetic nervous system, the origin are thoracolumbar nerves. That means T1 to L3. Next, the distribution of the parasympathetic nerves are limited to the head, neck and trunk, while sympathetic nervous system is distributed widely in our body. The ganglia which are present in parasympathetic nervous system are just close to the organ or just on the effector organ, while in a sympathetic nervous system it is away from the organ. The preganglionic fiber of parasympathetic nervous system are long, while sympathetic nervous system preganglionic fibers are short. Postganglionic fibers of parasympathetic nervous system are shorter than the sympathetic nervous system. They are the longer. The major neurotransmitter of parasympathetic nervous system is acetylcholine, while the minor neurotransmitter are nitric acid and VIP. These minor neurotransmitters are also called as co-transmitter. That means they are released into the synaptic cleft along with the acetylcholine. While the neurotransmitter of sympathetic nervous system is noradrenaline, it is a major neurotransmitter, while the minor neurotransmitter are acetylcholine and dopamine. The stability of acetylcholine, that means when it gets released into the synaptic cleft, it gets destroyed locally, while the noradrenaline is a comparatively more stable and can diffuse widely to show the actions. Dear friends, they are having some restricted nerve supply. That means only ciliary muscles, gastric glands, respiratory glands and pancreatic gland are having only parasympathetic supply. That means ciliary muscle, gastric gland, respiratory gland and pancreatic gland are not having sympathetic innervations. Like that, sweat glands, hair follicle, spleen and most of the blood vessels are having only sympathetic supply. For your understanding, please look at here. Sweat gland starts from ears. Near sweat glands there are the hair follicles. Spleen starts from the ears and blood vessels, as all of we know that blood vessels are having only sympathetic supply and we call it as sympathetic tone. So for the remembrance, sympathetic system's ears, sweat glands ears and spleen's ears. These three ears are related with the sympathetic restricted supply. Dear friends, this is the anatomically difference between the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Now I am going to tell you what is the physiological difference between the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. We will see what are the physiological actions of parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Before going to in detail, I want to focus that in a normal person at a normal physiological level, there is these both two systems are working simultaneously to maintain the harmony of our body. That means parasympathetic nervous system is releasing acetylcholine, along with that sympathetic nervous system is releasing noradrenaline continuously. But we see the sympathetic activities more than the parasympathetic activity at a normal state. That is called as sympathetic tone. So dear friends, as I told you earlier that both systems are releasing their neurotransmitter at a normal physiological normal level in a short quantity. But when action potential travels to the nerve terminal, at that time large quantity of neurotransmitters are released from the both systems to show their respective actions. Now we will see what are the actions when the parasympathetic nervous system gets stimulated. We see the meiosis when their action is seen on the pupils. On the salivary glands, it shows increased salivary secretions. On the respiratory tract, there is an increased respiratory secretions along with bronchospasm. On CVS, the heart rate is decreased, force of contraction is also decreased, and because of that, blood pressure is also decreased. Actually, the reason behind reduction in blood pressure is a peripheral vasodilatation due to the nitric oxide. On a GI tract, there is an increased gastric secretions. Along with that, contraction of the GI tract and relaxation of the sphincter, which result into the defecation. And on urinary bladder, there is a contraction of detrusor muscles and relaxation of the sphincter. Dear friends, though these are all the actions which are mediated by the parasympathetic nervous system, but we cannot see the meiosis every time. We don't get feeling of defecation or micturition every time. So there are particular factors that time only sympathetic nervous system is getting activated. On the other hand, what are the effects of the sympathetic nervous system on these organs? So here those actions which are seen in a parasympathetic nervous system, exactly opposite actions are seen when the sympathetic nervous system is activated. On a pupils, we see mydriasis, that means dilatation of the pupils. On a salivary gland, we see the decreased salivary secretions. It results into the dryness of mouth. On a respiratory tract, the respiratory secretions are reduced. Respiratory center present in a brain is stimulated and we see the bronchodilation. On a heart, there is an increased heart rate. The conduction is also increased. Force of contraction of cardiac muscle is also increased. Ultimately, all these effects results into the increased blood pressure. On a GI tract, there is a relaxation of GI tract and constriction of the sphincter. Same action is seen in urinary bladder, that there is a relaxation of the detrusor muscle and constriction of the sphincter. Up to this, in a textbook, these actions are seen. Now my dear friends, from onwards I am going to share some few additional points from my side, that please look at the board and try to understand exactly how the parasympathetic and sympathetic systems are working at a normal physiological level. Okay. So dear friends, as I told you earlier that both systems are working simultaneously. So which are those factors through which parasympathetic and sympathetic, that means ANS is getting affected or get stimulated? So dear friends, there are the two factors which affect the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Those factors are internal factors and external factors. Now first of all we will see at brief about the internal factors. Internal factors means are the drugs, that means cholinomimetic drugs, sympathomimetic drugs or the alpha or beta blockers. These are the internal factors which activate the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system beyond the physiological level. Another one internal factor is that disease which increases or stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. It is called as pheochromocytoma. It is a tumor where the adrenaline is getting released in more quantity and we will see the symptoms of increased sympathetic tone and activities. Dear friends, as I told you, these are the internal factors. Also the stress, that is mental stress. It also stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. That's why we doctor are recommending to do the meditation and yogas to control our mind, so that ultimately the sympathetic nervous system is also controlled and its stimulation is also reduced, unnecessary stimulation. Okay, so these are the internal factors. Now you are having a doubt or question in your mind, which are the external factors? Exactly, I am here to share that. So there are the 4 to 5 external factors which affect or stimulate the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Those are external factors are: first one is auditory, second one is visual, third one is imaginary, and fourth one is tactile. So we will discuss one by one. So please look at me and give your full concentration. To explain these external factors, how they affect, I am going to share my personal experience and few concepts so that you can understand. Suppose you are enjoying your vacation and going to the mountains and enjoying the greenery, or you are going to the Goa seashores and you are enjoying with your family, friends and relatives and your sister, mother or wife or friends also, and you are happy with the scenario, and all of a sudden your mother or sister or wife getting a call from her relatives, and after that she gets tense or she get in fault. Why? Because her relative give her very bad news. That bad news impacted her in such a way that at that time her heart rate and force of contraction are decreased. That's why she get faint down. Why it is happening? Because that bad news, that auditory stimuli stimulated parasympathetic nervous system in such a manner that it is resulted into the activation of the CVS, and she fall down because of that bad news. Now, what is the example of sympathetic nervous system for auditory stimuli? Suppose you appear exam and one paper is quite difficult for you and you are having a query that you may fail or you may not pass in that paper, but on the day of result you get a call from your friend and he tell you that hello, you are passing that subject, and at that time you are depressed and tense, but as soon as you hear the news that you are passing the subject, that time you get energy, feels happier and feels confidence. That is because of the sympathetic nervous system, because sympathetic nervous system is having action on CNS also. That we will discuss when we discuss the particular topic. So dear friends, these two are the examples of the auditory factors. Now we will see which are the visual factors which affect or stimulate the parasympathetic and sympathetic system. So dear friends, suppose you are walking with your friend and as on a road you are going and enjoying the greenery surrounded by you, and there are the two dogs which are fighting in between them, and you put up a stone and throw towards them. What will happen? They stop their fighting and they turn towards you. Both are the muscular and strong, and they are starting approaching and barking and approaching toward you. That time what will happen? You will move in opposite direction and start running with a full strength within a fraction of a minute. Before that you was relaxed and enjoying the scenario, but as soon as you throw a stone towards the dogs and they runs behind you, you run in such a manner that you are a Pityusha. How this happens? Means within a 1 minute you are getting such a strength, energy that you run very strongly, very fastly, rapidly. At that time your muscles are getting lots of blood supply, the power of muscles are also increased, the heart rate is increased to provide the metabolic needs of your muscles, and at that time your mouth gets dry, your eyes are your pupils are dilated to receive the lots of images and objects into your eyes and brain, so that you can get awareness about the situation. So dear friends, at ever you have seen that while running or trying to escape from a critical position, where a person is standing beside and doing a micturition or defecation, we have not seen. Why? Because at that time our sympathetic nervous system is activated, stimulated beyond a physiological level, and as we know that GI, what are the actions of sympathetic system on GI and urinary system? That there is a relaxation of GI tract or the detrusor muscles, and there is a contraction of the both sphincters. That means at that time you will not getting sensation of micturition and defecation. Why? Our body is trying to escape from the situation. So this is a visual example of a sympathetic nervous system. Now what is the example of parasympathetic nerve system, about the visual. As we are medico, we attended anatomy dissection room practicals. At that time, I remember very nicely, very properly, that one of my classmates, she get faint down, she did vomiting, felt nausea, and asked sir to sit down, cause our sir was performing a dissection. There was a scalp in his hand and he is taking incision on the abdominal muscles, and he is trying to show us the liver and its surrounding structure. By the seeing that picture, she get foiled. Why? The same mechanism is operating here. At that time, her parasympathetic nervous system was activated, and because of that, her heart rate was decreased and she felt vertigo, she did vomiting, or she felt nausea, because there is an increased gastric secretions, and also there is a contraction of the upper GI muscles, smooth muscles, which result into the expulsion of the gastric content in the form of vomiting. It is an example of visual parasympathetic action, how the visual stimuli or the visual factor affected the parasympathetic nervous system. I am going to give example of imaginary factors which affect our parasympathetic or the sympathetic system. How it will affect? Suppose you are having taramint, that is imli, or in Marathi it is called as chincha. It is a very delicious chocolatey brown colored imli that you are having in your hand, and you are taking a bite and you are moving that imli in your mouth. What will happen? Just imagine this situation, that is imli in your hand and you are sucking it or taking a bite. Yes? Yes, very good. With the imagination of this situation, the lots of salivary secretions came in your oral cavity. It means that at present you are not having that turment in your hand. Then also, why your secretions are increased? That is because of the stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system that increases our salivary secretions. There is one more example for imaginary sympathetic nervous system, how imaginary factors are going to affect sympathetic nervous system, but at present I don't want to share, or I can't explain that example. Now we will turn toward our last, that is tactile example, how the tactile factors are affecting parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. As we all are medicos, we attended the wards, or we are experienced in our OPDs that a female is approaching in our clinic, very lean and thin and young girl. After doing examination, you ask her for the injection, and you give her an injection, intramuscular injection, and turn towards your table and writing a prescription for her. And all of a sudden you heard a sound, dham, and you see toward the examination table. At that time, that girl was fall down. Why? Because prior to injection, in her mind there was a fear about the injection, that is a prick, and that prick given her pain, and that stimulated her parasympathetic nervous system, and again heart rate and force of contraction get reduced and she fell down. Actually, in this example, the drug is not get absorbed totally. Prior to the absorption of that drug, she fall down because her parasympathetic nervous system was activated, stimulated. How the sympathetic nervous system is getting activated by the tactile factor. I am going to give you one example through which there you can see auditory, imaginary, visual as well as tactile factors, how they are going to affect or stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. I am going to give you one example of our college days, not mine. It is an example of everyone's life. So there is a mob of friends, boys, is doing chit chat in a canteen, and they are discussing about one friend. He is a very strong, tall, and smart, and the discussion was going about one particular newly admission taken girl. She is also beautiful, and one of our that friend is in a thought of her. That means he is in a imagining her. So at a resting, when the friends are enjoying, at that time our friend's heart rate was 70. By the imagination of that beautiful girl, these heart rates are increased to 75, and all of a sudden what happens, that beautiful girls about which the friends are discussing and our friend is imagining, she stand into the gate of canteen and all looks toward her. At that time our these friends heart rate are increased by 5. That means now they are 80 because of imagination stimulated 5, and after looking at her, means they both looks toward each other. At that time our friend's heart rate is increased by 5. That means now they are 80. She also look at that particular friend, and she give a very beautiful and cute smile which melted our friend more, and because of this smile, it is a visual effect, that is visual stimulation. His heart rate are increased by 10. Now the heart rate are 90. She start approaching toward him. She started approaching toward him where he is sitting, and she stand in front of him. As soon as she stops or stand beside him, that time again our friend's heart rate are increased by 5 beats per minute. Now they are 95. Are you getting me? How the mechanism is going to operating? Now what happens? See, first of all, he was at normal state. By the imagination, heart rate increased by 5. After seeing her in a gate, heart rate again increased by 5. They are 80 now. After giving a smile, they are increased by 10. Now they are 90. After that, girl approached to our friend and stand in front of him. At that time, it was 90, increased by 5 more. That means at that time it was 95. And now, my dear friends, what happens? She does shake hand with him, and it causes not 10 but 15 heartbeats are increased, and now our friend's heart was beating at the rate of 110. Now what are the feelings of him at that particular time? Dhak dhak, dhak dhak, dhak dhak. Why this dhak dhak is happened within a 1 minute? That means before 1-2 minutes his heart rate was 70, and such events are occurred that after 1 or 2 minutes his heart rate was 110. This all the picture story what I told you, example what I given you, is just because of the stimulation of the sympathetic nervous system. When that girl was doing a shake hand with my friend, at that time his mouth was dried. Why? Because the salivary secretions are decreased and dryness of mouth occurred. Heart rate was increased. Dhak dhak, dhak dhak, dhak dhak, dhak dhak, because sympathetic nervous systems are stimulated. Also his legs are trembling because of the sympathetic nervous system is activated. So my dear friends, it was his initial first meeting. So the stimulus was stronger. At that, because of that, his heart rate was increased 70 to 110. But after 2 to 3 meetings, after that, the stimulus was not that much effective. That means it is not affecting the sympathetic nervous system. Exactly what happened at that time, our friend developed a tolerance towards that particular stimuli. Because of that, heart rate is not that much increasing. It is increased up to the 80, and as we know that 80 is a normal heart rate. So dear friends, I think you are understanding exactly how the mechanism, external factors are going to affect parasympathetic as well as sympathetic nerve system.